He waited his turn, and more importantly, he took advantage of his turn when it was here. So please wait your turn, because
yeah, but like I said, that don't mean he wasn't putting that work in the background, y'all. He definitely was putting that work in, y'all. Just slept on him for a little bit, but he had to let y'all know. But that y'all know when it's y'all turn and when y'all out in that limelight, go hard. What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna be reacting to The Art of Waiting Your Turn, man. You already know what this is gonna be about. This is about, if I had to explain it, this is pretty much about you waiting for your opportunity to shine. But I don't want y'all to think and get confused when they say wait. They don't mean wait on life to happen. They don't mean somebody's gonna come and Captain Save-A-Ho you. They don't mean circumstances automatically just gonna shift and change. What I'm saying is you have to implement the change you want to see, but over time you just gotta wait your turn. Somebody might be up right now, but you might not have seen the hard work they put in behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So you might be like, they just got on in a year, 2 months, they on 2-3 months. But for somebody, it's about perspective. You know what I'm saying? Watch my other videos if y'all want to learn about that. I talked about that all the time. It's about perspective. What you see on the outside looking in, you might see, oh, this person has it all, got there real fast, they was lucky. Behind the scenes though, this person is putting countless hours in of work, editing, whatever it may be, whether that's at the gym. They look big because that's genetics, but you don't understand they're at the gym 5 times a week, 3 hours in the gym, really working it, really sweating hard, really managing what they intake and how much they eat and shit like that. So you don't know how long and how much effort, discipline it takes to be at that level, to keep performing. Just like LeBron, people just think he just can keep doing that, but at the end of the day, he's working his ass off just to be able to put them numbers up. And that's what it takes to be at the best. And that's what it takes to also wait your turn. What means wait your turn is do what you're supposed to do. Work at what you want. Don't work at no 9-to-5 job. Don't work at no, it's not about the 9-to-5 job, because that means you just comfortable where you are. If you want to be at a 9-to-5, it should be a ladder to be able to create whatever you do want to work. So for me, for example, it's YouTube. So it's like, all right, I can't get here overnight. It's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take consistency, posting. It's gonna take learning how to edit. It's gonna take XYZ, but it's always gonna take that. With that being said, I know I didn't ramble tonight. We didn't even get to the video, y'all, but we could go ahead and jump right into it. It ain't no right video without, you know what I'm saying? It ain't a KD video if I ain't gonna ramble. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, we're gonna jump into it.
What would you say to someone who's like trying to come up? Maybe not necessarily the way you came up, obviously, but in their own way. What would you tell them? What kind of encouragement would you?
One thing I hate saying this because everybody says it, like consistency, dedication, like, you feel me? But people don't understand that like slow motion is better than like no motion. Like, I swear to God, I just feel like people are not patient with the blow up. I feel like people are just trying to rush and trying to hurry up and do this and this, knowing that take years.
They want to go viral on that.
They want to go viral so fast. And it's like, bro, like, you have to wait. And I just say play the back until it's time to play the front. And when it's your time to play the front, you go full throttle. Like today, like now is the time.
It's alright not to have shit figured out for real, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your whole life to figure shit out, bro. Like, it ain't gonna happen, you know what I'm saying, in one day either. Like, bro, you might not have shit figured out for 10, 15 years. And then next day you got everything figured out. And everybody sitting here looking at you wondering, how the hell you figured all this shit out whole time? They not knowing that this shit took you a long time, bro. This shit took you a long time.
Well, can you please share some words of motivation to everyone watching my show?
Do you be yourself and make sure that you love being yourself. And it's gonna be roadblocks, it's gonna be tribulations, but always remember this is a life experience. Accept the experience, appreciate the experience, and learn how to move on from things that don't serve you well, you know, and find your journey, respect your journey, and love it.
timing.
Before he even get into it, like I said, bro, as long as you working hard, consistently, frequency is the amount of what you do things. Like how many times, like if I'm doing it 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 60 times, that's a frequency, because that's how many times I'm doing it at that frequency. Consistency is getting up and actually doing the thing. I'm consistent. Like I show up. That's appearing. Okay. Frequency is how much you're doing the thing. Consistency is actually showing up for the thing. You can't have frequency without consistency, but you won't have your how consistent you are, it is indicative. Basically, it is synonymous to me with how frequent you post. You see what I'm saying? So you'd be like, if I see somebody post 200 videos, then I think they pretty consistent person, right? Right? But if I see somebody post 10 within a week, but they ain't see them post in a month, like I might be like, I mean, can I call them consistent? No. Why? Because your consistency is based off the frequency in which you keep doing the thing. That's why I think it's synonymous. They like two sides of the same coin. Stay consistent, stay frequent, and then you're gonna pretty much get where you need to be, pretty sure.
One of the most important keys to success. You get the success and money too early, and you'll misuse your influence and lose your money. You wait too long to transition in your journey, and the train will leave the station without you. Timing is everything. This is why a concept like waiting your turn is so important. Part of waiting your turn is understanding when it is your turn. Because when your turn comes, which it will, you have to be ready to take it. Because if you don't take advantage of your moment when it does come, it'll pass you by. A person in my own lifetime that I saw prove this principle was Kendrick Lamar. He patiently waited his turn to go later on in his career to claim the throne as the #1 rapper from the longtime holder Drake. With that, let me explain the final piece of waiting your turn. It was April 15, 2003, and a mixtape titled Youngest Head in Charge was released to the streets by a young Kendrick Lamar, stage name K. Dot, who by the way was only 16 at the time. It primarily consisted of freestyles of popular hip hop beats. Nothing special about it, and it flopped. And he went on for years to release more mixtapes that also kind of flopped. But while releasing these mixtapes, he also worked as a security guard while also working with artist J-Rock on his mixtapes, who he would later go on to collaborate with on multiple hit singles like King's Dead and Money Trees. And eventually in 2006, he was signed to an artist developmental deal with Def Jam Records, which is pretty much just a semi-paid, semi-free type rap deal when the label isn't fully sure of an artist and wants to put them through some tests and guide their skill towards another already signed artist. But was ultimately dropped because, as he described at the time, one of those situations where he wasn't ready. He continued to work, putting more and more substance into each mixtape that came out, paying homage to other greats that inspired to him, with no substantial growth in sight. That wasn't until September 14, 2010, the day I turned 5 years old, by the way, shout out to all the Virgos, where he released his 4th mixtape, Overly Dedicated. It was his first mixtape to gain some sort of commercial success, but despite the mixtape being number 72 on the billboards, he was still a hype man at this point for J-Rock and Tech 9 on their tours, opening for them, maybe on a lucky night being able to play one of his songs while hyping up the crowd, not really known outside of the small niche listeners he had.
When I say Michael, you say Jordan, Michael.
But after Dr. Dre saw the music video on YouTube to his song Ignorance is Bliss, he reached out to have Kendrick Lamar come and help him on his unreleased album. And not too long after that, on July 22nd, 2011, he released his debut studio album, Section 80. It was his first project to chart on the Billboard 200, but only sold 5,000 copies first week and got minimal media coverage. But it wasn't too long until he would later go on to sign a joint major record deal with Interscope Records. And on October 22nd, 2012, he went on to release Good Kid, Mad City, an album that told the story of not only Kendrick Lamar, but so many other kids in the city of Compton that were once innocent turned thugs, drug dealers due to their conditions needing to survive. It was a conscious look on his life growing up like Section 80, but it also had that poppy radio feel that an album needed to get commercial success, which it did, debuting at number 2 on Billboard 200. And here's when he started to become commercially known outside of LA. Yet at the Grammys that year, despite him having the best rap album, he was not awarded it, and it was instead given to Macklemore, who publicly stated that Kendrick Lamar was robbed, and it was because this was a white ran event.
And the Grammy goes to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Still though, Kendrick Lamar still had a bunch of public and commercial success. But despite him being at the peak of his career, he began to have nervous breakdowns, survival's guilt, because while he was out seeing the world performing, his friends and family were still back at home stuck in poverty and dying. He ended up trying to live 2 lives at once, which ultimately made him lose himself. But it was through this traumatic identity crisis, he birthed one of the greatest rap albums of our generation titled To Pimp a Butterfly, which was released on March 15, 2015, a conscious rap album about the social issues in America, and also a lifelong story about any industry that involves artists. It debuted at #1 on Billboard 200, and he was sent into stardom. He won the Grammy that he was robbed of and held the most Grammy nominations for a male rap artist in one night ever. But what ultimately sent him into icon status was his 4th studio album titled Damn, released on April 14th, 2017, which gained immediate worldwide success as it was his most commercially sounding album. But it still had that substance that Kendrick Lamar is known to have boiling beneath the surface. Around the same time, he began to tour and hop on features of some of the most popular songs at the time, like New Freezer, Mask Off, and All the Stars. He also produced the iconic Black Panther album this year. And after this Damn tour, he entered a 4-year recording hiatus where the world silently started to forget about Kendrick Lamar. But he eventually came back and dropped his 5th studio album, Mr. Morale, one of his more underwhelming projects. It was an album like To Pimp a Butterfly, and it talked about the mental issues he's had to deal with since the fame, the money, and fast lifestyle. But it was more of a personal healing album where it was like we were a third perspective listening and watching Kendrick Lamar go through his personal healing journey. Still though, nonetheless, it was up on the charts, it got the Grammy that year, and he was back like he never left. But despite Kendrick Lamar being so iconic, so commercially successful, the question of who was the king of rap was still in question. Due to another rapper being way more consistent and successful than Kendrick Lamar due to his racial appearance and ability to make hits that pull in a broader, lighter audience. And that guy is none other than BBL Drizzy. See, even though Kendrick Lamar makes such iconic moments and projects, Drake makes enough iconic hits for that year and vibe. So it was easy for Drake to run the rap game, especially when you take in account for the fact that Kendrick Lamar isn't very active in the public or socially unless it's to drop his music, unlike Drake, who is the trendiest wave rider artist that hip hop has ever seen. So Drake and Kendrick Lamar have always sneak dissed each other, and it seemed that Drake would continue to run the rap game. That was until March 26, 2024, where Kendrick Lamar, after reaching a boiling point upon hearing Drake parade around as if he was a king of hip hop and J. Cole roped himself, Drake, and him as the big 3 of hip hop, and directly sent shots at them saying he was the king of hip hop, thus sparking one of the biggest beefs that hip hop has ever seen. And eventually Kendrick Lamar went on to absolutely dog walk Drake and claimed the title of #1 rapper in the world. You know, eventually winning a Grammy for his diss track Not Like Us, and he is as of now at the peak of his career. And what makes it so crazy is before this beef, Kendrick Lamar's career was on the decline. Although very subtle given the height of his status, the younger generation since Damn really hasn't been checking for him, since our minds are set up like TikTok and he already isn't active on social media. But due to him coming in at this perfect time and seeing his moment be there and taking advantage of it, he went out and called the other 2 biggest rap artists of our generation. And he knew exactly how to beat Drake because he studied Drake's tactics against so many other artists, which I explained in the Art of Karma video. And this beef ultimately gave Kendrick Lamar another surge in his career, but that was because he waited his turn, and more importantly, he took advantage of his turn when it was here. So please wait your turn, because
yeah, but like I said, that don't mean he wasn't putting that work in the background, y'all. He definitely was putting that work in, y'all. Just, slept on him for a little bit, but he had to let y'all know. But that y'all know. When it's y'all turn and when y'all out in that limelight, go hard, bro. Like, it's kind of like, imagine, okay, how about this? This is a good analogy for me, right? Imagine somebody, let's say you in the middle of the fucking highway. For some reason, you just there, right? And you're running. You got infinite stamina. And you have a fucking big ass, unbelievably big semi truck coming down the lane, go full throttle towards you, but it's a distance back, and you got to run as fast as you can, maybe 200 feet. To me, you'd be like, why is that? Because I feel like your opportunity, let's say when you can run, but you don't see no clear exits to get up off there because you look like it's just a drop. Let's just say you have to keep running until you see an exit. But if you stop running, you're just as good as dead. But if you stop, at least if you keep running, at least you got a little bit of chance to live. And again, you got infinite stamina in this situation. Once you see your opportunity and chance, take it. Because some people ain't going to take it. You're going to be crushed by the failure of your dreams not coming true. So I hope that didn't go over y'all head. I hope y'all understand what that means. Like, so you know what I'm saying? And I feel like you won't be crushed if you take that exit. Run as fast as you can. You got to do what you got to do. And then as soon as you see an exit, that opportunity to get to your next destination, take it, bro, and take it with stride, bro. Take it. I ain't gonna lie. It's motivation. There's motivation.
Trust me when I say, if you choose or don't see it when it presents itself, it'll go just as quick as it came. The same as a shooting star in the sky. And that's the art. Waiting your turn. I appreciate y'all so much for me rocking out on this trilogy. You know what I'm saying? This is our Waiting Your Turn 3. I know y'all love this series, and I'm glad I can end it off with a banger. So, you know, I appreciate you all so much for the love lately. Go check out my playlist where you can see these in chronological order. They build upon each other. And check out my Twitch and my Instagram because I'm gonna start streaming soon. So with that, I appreciate you all so much. I appreciate the love, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one.
Man, with that being said, man, excellent, wonderful video from my boy Alex the Virgo. He's steady putting up them bangers, man. Same like me. I'm trying to put these bangers out. That being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. What was your favorite part of the video? What lessons did you take from this? What was your theme of it all? Maybe you got a different perspective than I do. That being said, road to 1,000. We reacting everything on the internet. See y'all to the next one.